What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Angel, and welcome back to Go Battle League Ultra League. Today, I've got another episode of Does It Work? This beautiful, amazing team comp came from a good friend of mine. I would say, he's a good friend of mine. I don't know what he thinks about me, but Justin JR Skater. I love this guy. So helpful, super easy to talk to, has been helping me out on my Patreon, on my channel. He's just a great guy. And this team comp, I swear, is my favorite Ultra League team comp so far. And I've already recorded 4 Does It Works. Alright, I already have like the gameplay for 4, right? The first one, Battle Bill. If you haven't seen that, check out this video right here. The second one is this one. The third one is FP Sticks. The fourth one is PV Poke. So we've got some heavy hitters here, people. And this team comp right here is the best. This right here is the rating at the start of the recording, and I'm gonna show you the score and the rating that I get for all 5 sets. I want to show you how I actually do in Go Battle League Ultra League using just this team. So this team was used for all 5 sets. I'm gonna show you the score and the rating. Now I also realize that I don't have to show you every single battle to show you how this team works. So I'm only gonna be sharing with you the battles from the best set, just so you have like a reference of how to use this. And we're doing all of this just to figure out, does it work? Let's see how we do. This is the result of the first set. I went up 35 points. I got a 4-1, and this was a really good set. I actually wanted to share with you the gameplay like from this set, because I think in almost every single match, maybe like 3 or 4 out of the 5, I had a bad lead matchup. And this team still pulled it off. I still got a solid 4-1 to go up 35 points. But there's better. This is the result of the second set, and I got a 2 out of 5. So generally negative, not enough to negate what I gained in the first set, because I gained like 35 points. Here I lose 12 points. It's not that bad. For the third set, I went negative again. Hey, it happens. All right, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I went negative, and then I went negative. For this one, I lost 10 points, so still not enough to negate what I gained from the first set. But for the fourth set, I got 3 out of 5, which is generally positive. So making it back, I gained 9 points. Like overall, still positive, right? Now the fifth set is the one that I'm gonna share with you. All right, so my first opponent had me on the lead. Venusaur lead. Now in the first set, I mentioned that I encountered a lot of like negative leads. Most of them were steel types. Melmetal, Registeel, and then I think a Melmetal again. Alright, and what I would do is I would just play it out with my Lapras and then come in with my Swampert versus like a half-eaten steel type, and then I would just farm down. And that's kind of like how I would get back the advantage. With this match, it's kind of very difficult because you don't really have a lot of choice, because you can't swap out to Cresselia. If you swap out to Cresselia, the Venusaur is gonna swap out, and you basically have 2 water types. One of them is a Mud Boy as well in the back, and you're dead, right? So what I do is I go for the Ice Beam, hope and pray that it lands, hope and pray that my opponent just lets it through. But in this case, my opponent blocked it. Now at this point in time, this was the 3rd Venusaur lead that I encountered on that day, and one of them didn't block. The other one, I learned a lot about trying to play that person. What you do is, after your Lapras goes down, you come in with your Cresselia. As you can see, Frenzy Plant still does a lot of damage because it slaps really hard. And what you want to do is, you want to charge up to a Moonblast and then try to go 4 fast attacks. Remember this, 4 fast attacks past Moonblast. It's a lot easier to visualize nowadays with the update. You can actually see like how much energy you go over, right? It's about like a Moonblast plus a half of a Moonblast, alright? And that's about as much as you can farm with Cresselia without going over 100. You can't actually farm over 100. That's not something that you can do. It limits it to 100, and yeah, you just take extra damage, right? So you just farm up to a Moonblast, 4 extra fast attacks, or like around half of a Moonblast, and then throw. All right. Now he came in with a very spicy Pokemon, Aggron, right? But since my Swampert came in earlier, plus I have 2 shields, this is basically GG. With a Swampert mirror match, you just want to throw straight Hydro Cannon. That's it. That's all you want to do. Just throw straight Hydro Cannon. That's the move. You don't want to go Earthquake. This is not Great League. In Great League, you might want to consider trying to land the Earthquake, but in Ultra League, just go straight Hydro Cannon. And since I have the energy advantage, since I have the shield advantage, I win this. Now, I didn't really consider to farm over charge here. This is actually a good spot if you have like the advantage to gain, you know, just a little bit of energy, just so you have like a, you know, an advantage over your next opponent, because Mud Shot doesn't do a lot of damage, right? So once your opponent throws, I clicked on it right away, right? But once your opponent throws, maybe go like 1, 2, maybe 3 fast attacks before throwing your killing blow, just so that you have that extra energy coming into your next opponent, so that you get to the Hydro Cannon much faster, right? It might help you, it might not help you, just something to keep in mind. Don't do this for things like don't do this for things with charm. All right, that's not a good thing to do, because you're taking a lot of damage. You're trading a lot of damage for just a little bit of energy. I don't think it's worth. Interesting thing is the Aggron, right? It was a shiny Aggron, actually matched his outfit. All right, so swag. GG. Second match, we have a very common lead, I would say. This is Togekiss lead. Now, when people lead Togekiss, most of the time they double block, right? When people lead Charmer, think they're gonna double block because they want to get that switch advantage, right? And the play here is, with Togekiss, you want to throw straight Surf. Remember this, straight Surf. I'm gonna throw the Ice Beam later, but yeah, that's dumb. Don't do that, right? Don't do what I did here, right? Throw straight Surf and block the Ancient Power, right? So after your first Surf, they're gonna get to throw the Ancient Power. You want to block, okay? Why? Just in case he blocks twice. Let's say, you know, he's thinking, I want to keep the switch advantage. Very important. I have like a super hard counter to something that this person has in the back. All right, so I need that switch advantage. If you did that, throw straight Surf, block that Ancient Power. Even if the Togekiss blocks twice, you win. You get to the third Surf to kill it. No, you don't have to match the shields. You will kill the Togekiss if it 2 shields, as long as you block that first Ancient Power. You actually get to the third Surf before it gets to the second Ancient Power, right? So unfortunately, since I didn't do that, I am stuck trying to farm my way out of this situation. I am just psycho cutting down, taking all the charm damage on my Cresselia. But good thing is I have a loaded up Cresselia. I actually went over 100 energy there, but I don't get to keep more than 100 energy, right? Out pops Heatran, right? So he was thinking really to look for a Cresselia to do this, basically, to kind of like hard counter it. I swap to my Swampert. What does he have in the back? Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a very hard counter to Swampert. And since my opponent is now naked, no shields, my Swampert is free to do what it does the best, which is blow stuff up. This is a really devastating finisher Pokemon, and it's actually one of the cheapest Pokemon to build for Ultra League, right? So Swampert, definitely something that you should have for Ultra League. Maybe think about a Shadow if you haven't built one up yet, but maybe have both, actually. Maybe have both. Why not? It's gonna cost you like not that much. So yeah, just double Earthquake to kill the Giratina, and then a Hydro Cannon will finish it on the Heatran. Now, for these teams, you see these quite often, right? With the Clefable or Togekiss lead, the Charmer lead, and then most of the time, when you see that, you can bet that there is a Steel type in the back. Sometimes it's a Registeel, other times it's a Scizor if they don't have the Dust and they don't have a Hondo Registeel. Yeah, you'll see a lot of those, and yeah, but you're in good hands with Swampert, hence this team comp makes a lot of sense. Third match is just straight up control. It's all about just me grabbing control from the start. This is a fantastic lead. I try to go for the Surf bait sometimes, but the safer, you know, thing to do is just go straight Ice Beam. All right, just in case they also just let it go through. All right, most of the time you're not gonna need to block because not a lot of Giratina these days rock the Ancient Power. All right, Pun, what's up? What's good? All right, so yeah, swaps into the Melmetal. I have the perfect counter for that. Yeah, this is just a very controlled match. Now, Melmetal is really, honestly, hard countered by Swampert. Even if you block twice with Melmetal, as long as you block once with Swampert, you're good. And you can tank two superpower. You don't have to think about landing the shield on the first superpower so that the rest are debuffed. You don't have to go that far. You just think about maybe getting a little bit of energy before you throw the killing blow, just so that you have a little bit of energy going into the next fight, right? Interesting thing though is that he throws straight rock slide, and that is a sign and symptom of not having a lot of dust, all right? Which means that he's one of my people, all right, that chumps without Stardust. Now, take note that before I threw this killing blow, I got a couple of fast attacks on the Melmetal, and that's, you know, I always try to get just a couple of fast attacks if the fast attack of my opponent doesn't chunk too hard, if it's not a charm, right? And because I did that, I got to the Earthquake fairly fast. And what my opponent is going to try to do here is he's going to try to grab any advantage that he can. So he's going to try to farm down. Unfortunately for him, I am going to get to the Hydro Cannon. And yeah, just a reminder, whenever you try to do that, whenever you try to like farm down, try to keep track of the fast attacks. Even if you don't really know the count, just you have like a vague idea of, oh man, if he gets up to maybe like 3, maybe I should throw, because he might get to throw, right? Because he did not need that Hydro Cannon in his life. He was already in a very losing match, and I had to force him to shield like that, all right? So yeah, but it is what it is. So I use my Lapras just so that I, you know, negate that super effective damage multiplier on the Shadow Sneak for my Cresselia. And yeah, the last Pokemon is another Pokemon that I beat, Swampert. Plus I have 2 shields. My Lapras is at like half health. My Cresselia hasn't even, you know, seen the battlefield yet. And weak connection, alright? So, you know, the logical thing to do here is, yeah, hey, alright, it happens, man, it happens, okay? But yeah, GG. Good battle. Alright, so for the next match, the 4th match, we have a fantastic lead matchup. We have the very popular mud boy, Swampert. Swampert lead. This is an amazing matchup, a very good opportunity. And it's one that happens very often because Swampert is a very common lead. It's actually a very good lead as well, but you have to have the right Pokemon in the back. Now, my opponent is not swapping out. And that should be a sign, a signal to tell you that your Lapras might be very important. You know, this person might not have a proper Lapras counter, hence staying in with Swampert. But at the time, I didn't realize this. But just to review you on what to do here, you want to go straight Surf. Don't go for the Ice Beam. Do not go straight Ice Beam. Don't go try to like bait the Surf, land the Ice Beam, because you actually have a chance to lose if you go straight Ice Beam. In the 1-shield scenario, you win more if you block the Earthquake. In the 2-shield scenario, don't even bother blocking twice. I would suggest just coming in with one of your fantastic finisher Pokemon in the back and just farm down, alright? Which is actually what I'm gonna do here because my opponent is going to, well, right here, I was forced to block because I didn't think that was safe enough to farm down because, you know, Hydro Cannons, Earthquakes still do a lot of damage to Cresselia, and of course, I'm not gonna, you know, pull out my Swampert on this Swampert because the Hydro Cannon would cut my HP in half. Also, I felt that at that HP range, I would have gone over 100 energy with Cresselia, so kind of just wasting my HP, right? So I feel like the shield was worth it. Just get a couple of ice shards since he blocked twice as well. That's fine. I have a naked opponent now. This is great. I'm gonna come in with my Cresselia, obviously not Swampert, right? Because I don't want him to cut my HP in half. And I'm just going to farm down. Now he's going to get to one more Hydro Cannon, and that's fine with me. One Hydro Cannon, that's cool. And also, did you notice that I didn't bring out my Pokemon right away? That's because I was taking a breath, alright? Sometimes you need that in your life. Just oxygenate the brain, right? You make less mistakes. So I farmed down the Swampert, and out pops, very interesting, Charizard. So, you know, my water Pokemon, my Lapras, would have been great for this. The last Pokemon also is a good matchup for Lapras. So Lapras had all 3 of those Pokemon. This is fantastic. I swap in my Swampert just to check what's in the back. And you can do this if both of your Pokemon beat this second Pokemon, right? So just to check what's in the back, I swap in my Swampert because my Cresselia beats this Charizard. My Swampert definitely beats this Charizard. I just want to see what's in the back. it's Clefable. Alright, so this is a pretty good situation. Clefable is going to take a lot of damage from my Swampert. I'm gonna go straight Hydro Cannon. I'm gonna get to 2 Hydro Cannons before it chunks me down, and I'm going to get it to the red. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to throw with my Cresselia to kill this, because again, you don't want to take that charm damage, right? You don't want to be trading just a little bit of energy for chunks of your HP. Okay, so once I get to my Cresselia, I'm going to try to go for the straight Moonblast. Unfortunately, at some point here, well, he's gonna get to throw. I'm not gonna block this. Not sure how much energy Charizard has, but a Blast Burn, you know, it's gonna do much more damage compared to a Meteor Mash. I am going to try to go for the Moonblast here, but as you can see right there, it lags, and then he gets 1 extra fast attack. That's been happening quite often, my opponent getting extra fast attacks on me, like sometimes when I throw a charge attack, other times when my opponent throws a charge attack. I don't know, you know, if that's common with you guys, but yeah, for the past couple of days, I've been seeing a lot of tweets about that. Yes, it's a poopy situation, and hopefully they fix that. But thankfully, it does not affect the matchup, but you know, another charm probably would have done, or like maybe two more charms. Now he threw the Dragon Claw, and he only got like 1 fast attack after, so I guess not enough to get to the Blast Burn, but it was nice that we saved the shield for that, right? Lot safer, just in case, because I couldn't remember the energy, right? So pay attention to the energy, especially with easy to remember fast attacks like that. Fire Spin is 10 energy. Last match is a very interesting match, very important match for you to know about, and that is Cresselia. Whenever you encounter Cresselia, you want to go straight Surf. Throw it right away. Don't charge up to 2. Throw it right away, because you don't want to get hit with the Moonblast debuff before you get to throw. It's a waste of DPS. And now, my opponent is going to do something very interesting here, and it's going to be a very interesting and very long match. Now, when you have a long match like this, when you have like a bunch of bulky Pokemon like Lapras, Cresselia, I have a Cresselia, you're going to see that my opponent also has a bunch of bulky Pokemon. You want to, you know, try to play with, you know, the timer in mind. Alright, now right here, I kind of hesitated to swap out because I was thinking to kind of like drain the Lapras of energy and also gain energy, because this, throwing the Surf on the Lapras is kind of like it's a waste of energy, right? And I have, you know, the switch advantage now. I have the freedom to swap out, and I knew that this was going to come down to timer strats, so I'm just taking it in, also gaining energy, right? Because that Surf can be thrown on something more important as that, right? That's not a lot of DPS for the energy that you've thrown. Now I swap in my Cresselia, and my opponent makes the mistake that I mentioned earlier, which is not throwing the Surf right away. Lapras gets to the Surf before Cresselia gets to the Moonblast, for sure, right? So I guess maybe he was hesitating and stuff, and yeah, he got the debuff. It was actually a CMP tie, like he threw on the CMP tie, which he should have just thrown, okay? It's actually pretty close. Now, he swaps out to a Lowland Muck, and this is not a good situation for me, but I'm playing with the timer in mind. So right here, I'm gonna block. When you're playing and you know for a fact that timer strats are gonna come into play, you wanna win the trades, alright? You wanna win the trade, so I don't wanna take that big, super effective damage. I am going to block that, right? And with the Moonblast, I think that it's much better still compared to the Lapras throwing not very effective damage on my Lapras, right? So it's neutral, okay? And then when the switch timer pops up, I swap immediately to my Lapras. Right here, a Dark Pulse is not gonna kill. Now, since I didn't throw my energy earlier on the Lapras, since I, you know, gained a ton of energy from that Lapras, also taking just not very effective damage, draining my opponent's energy, I get to throw my Surf, my energy at this, and I get to burn the shield. So that's much more important than just throwing not very effective damage, right? So this is a very good trade for me. I'm basically winning the trades here, right? I'm blocking super effective damage, I'm dealing at least neutral damage, and stuff and things are, you know, going my way. Unfortunately, I currently have 1 less Pokemon, so I'm thinking I gotta knock something out. I gotta knock something out. Now, this Lapras is in Earthquake range, right? So I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, not gonna block this Surf. I feel like since the Alolan Muck is still in the back, I could use that shield, alright? So I'm gonna go for the Earthquake right here. And before I do that, just get a little bit extra. Now, unfortunately, I feel like since I farmed up so much, my opponent was kind of like alerted, and yeah, he opted to block. So now I have to block the surf, and then I have to throw another earthquake to kill this thing, just to seal the deal. So yes, very important early on to recognize when timer strats are gonna come into play, right? If you have a bunch of bulky Pokemon, start thinking, I gotta gain some advantage, I gotta knock out somebody's Pokemon, we gotta make sure that my energy goes to the right place because it's gonna be a long battle. And yeah, I finally take it out. He makes a fatal mistake here, but I kind of understand what he was thinking. He was probably thinking that he could beat me to the charge attack, right? He was maybe like keeping, I don't even know how much energy that Alolan Muk had. I had no idea, but I'm sure that the Cresselia threw before it swapped out. Alright? But this is GG even if it looks like I lose because the timer is coming up, guys. And yeah, we're throwing Moonblast at each other. We're gonna get debuffs and stuff going on, so it's gonna be a long battle. And there we go, the timer. And that's also why I swapped out of the Swampert right away, because even if I outpace it to the Moonblast, I don't want to risk it. I want to have 2 Pokemon when that timer goes down to 0. Now, once the timer pops up and then somebody throws a charge attack, it's just a couple of seconds before it goes 0. I threw just to make sure, but not necessary. It was gonna go 0. And yeah, I have 2 Pokemon, he has 1 Pokemon, and so I win the trade war. All right, so yeah, 5-0. Guys, it has been a while. So yeah, I got a 5-0, and I am gonna go up around like 80 points. All right, if you do the math from the the start. All right, so this is a really good team. I highly recommend it to you guys, and definitely check out Justin JR Skater, my guy, my dude. I love the man, such a nice person. You're gonna learn a lot from him, plus he's uploading daily now. All right, he's uploading daily. He's stuck to a schedule. Check out his channel right there. And thank you so much for watching, guys. When I say that, I mean it. All right, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my content. I'm trying my best right now to make content that is for you guys, right? So I want to make content that is entertaining, that teaches you a lot. So yeah, leave me any feedback at all right? I'm trying to reduce all the stuff and things on the screen and just really focus on the battles, how to play certain things. I'm also not focusing on all my problems in life, because a lot of people are like, Vane, you're so emo, you're so negative about all the stuff and the things, right? So I'm trying to focus on you. I want to make good content for you. How was the format? How was the audio? Anything on the screen you want me to change? Anything that hurting your eyes? Yeah, any feedback will be greatly appreciated. Leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.